My name is Jo Formosa from Health Dynamics, and today we're going to talk about one of the three reasons why people seek out help. One thing that people have is like pain or discomfort, the ability of something is annoying them, something is imbalancing them, and then they will start to source. The other thing is lack of function. So if you can't use something, then you're going to get some help because that's driving you crazy. And the third thing is vanity. And I'll tell you how this sort of works, right? So I recently hurt my Achilles tendon and it was extremely excruciatingly painful. I couldn't put my foot down. I had to be on crutches. I had to wear a moon boot. So I had two things. I had the pain and the loss of function. So I quickly got on the phone. I spoke to my friend who's a podiatrist. I quickly got some, crutches and a moon boot and all the different things that I need. It was a bit of vanity too, because I had to wear this like big, ugly moon boot. So this whole thing that we're going to talk about today is really the pain and inflammation and how it stops you. And I want to show you a little bit about how pain forms because it can all of a sudden just come into your body, like arthritis, joint pain, pain in particular joints, lower back pain, shoulder pain. You might have some sort of injury and then there's some sort of pain. But the one that I want to talk to you more about is not necessarily injury pain because you sort of know where that's come from. That is inflammation. That is something that you want to sort of address. But what about the pain that is like an overall, like annoying pain? So let me just share with you on a bit of a diagram of how this sort of works. There is like a process where there's inflammation that builds up in your body, and we call this like the 6 stages of disease. So first of all, your body's job is to basically eat food, and that food is supposed to become digested. And then when that food is digested, it moves through the small intestine, right? And then it moves through the large intestine, and your body eliminates the toxins and takes in the nutrients that it needs to do. But first of all, your body has to cook that food. And if it doesn't cook that food properly, that food is like either not cooked and it's sort of raw and doesn't have some sort of process, or the cooked food is overcooked and it's too heated and inflamed. So it just needs to be the perfect amount. And we call this in Ayurveda, we call this Agni. So this is like your digestive fire. So when you have a good digestive fire, your body cooks the food properly, it metabolizes the food properly, making sure you've got the right type of food there. And then it will start moving it around the tissue. And when it moves around the tissue, it starts to absorb in this small intestine. And this small intestine starts to absorb those nutrients, and you get your minerals and your micro minerals and your vitamins and your minerals that you need. But if it doesn't, it starts causing toxicity. And toxicity will come into three parts. So it'll be like a vata toxicity, which means a lot of air in your body, right? So it can be a lot of dryness and a lot of inflammation. It can be a lot of heat, like pitta. So there's too much heat in your body. It can be reflux, indigestion. Air can be like too much constipation, too much bloating. Or it can be kapha, which is like too much mucus and too much like phlegm, and you might get things like nausea or feeling of not eating. So when the food doesn't digest properly, if it starts producing something like ama, which is undigested food particles, then that ama starts to process and move around the body. And we call this like stage one. So it's like starts to aggravate in your body. So something is happening here in the digestive system. Children are so good at this. They say, "Mummy, I have a sore tummy. I don't want to eat." And so the child doesn't eat, and it lets whatever is there process, doesn't go any further. But if you let it go further, it will start to accumulate, right? The accumulation aggravation sort of, happens sort of hand in hand. When it accumulates, it will start building up here. And then the body's job is what? Not to be sick. So the third part, it will start spreading. So it's going to spread this imbalance or inflammation around your body. And this is where this pain starts to form, because this is lymphatic toxicity and makes you feel swollen and inflamed. And, it's sort of like you can't pinpoint where that inflammation is coming from. The fourth stage is when it starts to localize. So it will localize in a weak area of your body. So for me, when I hurt my Achilles tendon, I did something sort of like, which I thought was fine to do on like the island where I was on this big sort of, boat, like not boat, what do you call it? Like a trike bike on the water. And I got little legs. So I'm really trying to reach for these pedals. And then as I'm reaching for the pedals, I'm extending through my Achilles, but I already have a bit of a weakness there. So what happened of doing that for only 20 minutes, 24 hours later, I couldn't walk. So what happened is that pain and inflammation went on that dryness of that Achilles tendon, and started to flare up and cause like a lot of friction and a lot of heat. And then the whole tendon was inflamed. 3 weeks it took to get that to settle down, right? So when you have a weakness and there's also a localized weakness, what happens is those toxicity will start to sit in the joints and it will start to inflame the joint tissue. Stage 5 is what we call a disease. So this is where you can get, degeneration disease, or you can get spondylolisthesis, stuff that happens in your lower back, or you can get a tendonitis or tendinosis, or, something is out now where the doctor can call it something. You might be getting injections or cortisone injections, or PRP is one of the biggest things that is like there, or you might need to have surgery because it is so bad. So disease will start forming, but again, the process has still been moving through your body quite radically. And the 6th stage is chronicity. So it becomes quite chronic and you're sort of managing it a lot. And you're managing it a lot and you're managing your time. So the inflammation is like, first of all, we need to look at the root cause. The root cause is what is happening around the digestive system, what is happening around your nervous system, and how are you eating? So, one thing that we hear a lot about is people having to manage like different pain, whether it's arthritis or whether it's some sort of injury or something like that. But it's also that recovery phase. How quickly do you recover from things depending on your inflammatory process in your body? So we have an event coming up, which is a workshop, and it's a 3-hour workshop. And inside that workshop, we're going to go through that whole process. We only have very limited spots. So if you have pain and you want to really learn, first of all, what are some exercise techniques that you can do to mobilize, the pelvis and the joints and stuff that help settle down like your whole digestive system, a breathing cycle as well, and an education behind 3 different body types, and all different body types respond differently. And then a meal that you can make that actually helps you to detoxify and also heal that pain, which you're reducing inflammation. Because we have people in our detoxification program who come with very, very chronic knee pain, arthritis, and with a 28-day process, so much of their pain, to 80 to 90%, has gone. So inflammation is not just because you have injured something. Inflammation is also your body's sign of telling you something is not working and you need to do something about it. So take the time to understand this process. Have you got pain? If you can't get out of it, please let us know. Come to the workshop, only limited amount of spots. So jump in and jump on to a great workshop that we're going to take you through that process. Hope everything goes well. Take care. Bye.